Yo, what is going on everyone, Guiding Light here, and in this video I'm going to show you guys how I was able to take down the Cloudtreading deer. Now this boss fight was actually a bit tough, but then it became very easy once I found a pretty simple trick. Now before we get into the fight, I'll show you guys my build very quickly and go over the spells and just the things I'm running so that you're aware of it, and then we'll just take down the boss really fast. Now I usually don't show my build and spells in every single video, but it's been like 4 or 5 boss fight guides since I've shown it, so if you've been keeping up with all the guides or if it's just been a while, you may not have seen some of the upgrades that I've put in. Now I'm using all the same spells as before, but I've spent a few more of my skill points, and so this build definitely helps a little bit with the boss fight if you're super stuck on it. Now another thing that I put on is the Plantation Fan. This is a new ability that creates the Hurricane. You will unlock that right after finishing up Chapter 5. So this boss is a little tricky because it has 2 phases, and you can run out of health very quickly. Now keep in mind, you can upgrade your healing potion. If you haven't done that or if you haven't been keeping up with that throughout the chapters, definitely be sure to go and upgrade your healing potion. That's going to help a lot. The way to do this is go back to that chapter 2 location and you want to upgrade the wine. This will make it so that each time you use a sip, instead of it just healing a little bit, it's going to heal a massive amount. You can actually get this up to about like 80%. There's also a bunch of other healing upgrades I've made guides on where to find if you want to know where to get them. Now, when I start out the fight, I immediately immobilize the boss, and then I go into my transformation. The reason I use my transformation straight at the beginning is so that I'm able to get it back during the second phase. Now, when you're in your transformation, be sure to use your heavy attack. I do believe you're able to knock this boss over, but once you get to about 30% health drain, the boss will immediately go into an immune phase where you can't actually do any damage to him. Now, once this happens, the boss will also spawn up a bunch of tornadoes. At first, they can be a little annoying, but they're actually pretty simple to dodge. Now, as you can see there, I was able to knock the boss over by doing my heavy slam, and you can also knock him over by doing the heavy focus attacks if you have at least 2 focus points built up. Now, as you can see, he goes into his immune phase right at this point. So right when this is over, I like to pop the monkeys because there's no point in popping them before this phase. He's going to end up going immune, and the monkeys will end up kind of getting wasted. So when he gets out of this, what I'll do is I'll pop my Hurricane and I'll pop the monkeys as well. The Hurricane actually has a chance of knocking the boss over. So I went invisible during this phase just to dodge his attacks. It's not necessary, but I figured it'd make it easier, and then I can pop the monkeys safely. Now, this helps quite a bit if you're able to even stun the boss a second time, because these monkeys are going to take like 30% of his health away. So I stun the boss to make sure that all of the monkeys' attacks land, and in that time, I charge up my focus points. Once you have 2 focus points built up, you can actually use this to knock him over. Now, the better you get at this strategy in the first phase or just in general, the better, because you can use this in the second phase also to make it a lot easier. Now, obviously, you want to try to dodge any attacks that come in, but it can get tough, and I was actually dropping frames like crazy in this fight, which made it even more difficult. Now, we've only used 1 healing potion. The biggest thing in this fight is just watch your stamina bar, because if you're really busy focusing on your combos, you run out of stamina, you can't dodge at all. And so I know that locks me up a lot sometimes. Now, as you can see, I still have those focus points. I'm trying to get my heavy attack in there, but he actually dodged it that time, and that's fine. Got plenty of health left, and you just want to make sure you get into the second phase with a decent amount of health. We've only used 1 potion, but we're out of mana, and I'm going to show you guys how to get through the second phase pretty simply. There was a part in the second phase that was locking me up, had me stuck for like 30 or 40 minutes, and then I was able to get it done on like my second try after I learned this trick. So I'm going to skip to the second phase, and I'll show you guys how I was able to get through it. Now, as soon as the boss goes into the second phase, you actually do want to immediately run away from him. Now, the boss is going to start having pools of blood all around the map. You want to make sure not to step in it. Anytime you step in it, you're going to notice that there's a poison bar that starts to creep up. Now, for the longest time, I told myself I refused to use any potions and that I was going to find a way to beat the boss without popping any potions. And I kept trying to dodge around the blood pools, and just try to beat it that way. But unfortunately, he just doesn't stop. And there really wasn't any way to deal any damage to the boss because you constantly have to stand in there. Now, once that bar hits full, it's going to start taking your health away pretty considerably, about 10 to 15 health every second, and that won't go away for like about a minute. Now there's a way around this. You just have to go into the fight with this potion. I had a bunch of them already stacked up because I have not popped a single potion through this playthrough. But I honestly just felt like this was the only way. After being stuck on this boss for about an hour, I used this one potion and I beat it on my very first try. And so I do believe this is one of the easiest ways to take this boss down. Now, once you're in the second phase, if you followed these steps, you should be able to just go into your transformation right away. Once you do this, you can start up a combo where you continuously try to knock the boss over. Now, keep in mind, you're going to have help from the NPC character, and he can heal you as well, but I wouldn't really rely too much on that because it's only going to come in maybe once throughout this entire phase. I didn't really have too much trouble with healing, actually. As you can see, I have plenty of healing potions left, plenty of health left as well, and that was all due to that potion. On any other playthrough that I did or attempt at this boss that I did, the boss was actually wrecking me in this phase. There was times where I got close, but without that potion, I just mostly spent the entire second phase healing up because, as you can see, anytime you want to deal damage, you have to stand in those pools, and so it becomes pretty tough to try to beat it without this potion, to be honest. Now, there's definitely ways around using the potion. Now that I think about it, you could probably switch your stance and use the pillar stance and actually probably just stay above it. But I did not want to make an entire new build just to take down this one boss. So with this potion, you should be able to get through the fight pretty quickly. Now, once everything runs out, once you're out of spells, out of mana, you want to go back to using that heavy attack combo as you can. Now, I actually started getting pretty wrecked at this part of the fight, even though I had like 8 heals left. For some reason, I just lost focus because the fight went on for so long. Now, if this happens, or if your potion begins to run out, you'll notice you start to take poison damage again. You can keep an eye on the bottom left corner. Once that green icon goes away, you'll know that the potion's over, and you can go and pop a second one if you want. Now, I was trying my best not to pop a second one, but the boss had me so weak, and I just lost focus so bad. I got hit so many times in a row that I just told myself, all right, I'm going to just pop this potion. I've been stuck on this long enough. I don't know why, but I just never pop potions in this game, so I just didn't want to. But hopefully all these tips and tricks help you guys out. This was just the way that I decided to beat the boss. There's plenty of other ways that I'm sure you could beat it using other combos and armor pieces, but that's the way I beat it. So hopefully it helps, and I will catch you in the next one. Peace.
Step away! This time, the